Hello, viewers. Welcome to another edition of Uncut with me, Boga Ali Hashim. And this is the sports edition. And it's all about the UEFA Champions League Grand Finale, slated for Saturday, 1st of June at the Wembley in London. And I'm privileged to have, Ghana's best brains when it comes to sports. They are the gurus. They are the gurus, not just here in Western region, but Ghana. On my left, it is the man I respect so much. I've been a fan from day one. He goes by the name Mr. Philip Kobna Nkumsa. That's him here. And on my right is Mr. Abuaji. He has some guy name. I'll ask him where he got that name and all that. So quickly without much ado, let me start with Mr. Abuaji. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Your guy name. I've been listening to you on radio. You have this nickname,
Yeah.
Mr. Abuaji. The what?
Gaucho.
Gaucho.
Sure.
How did you come by that name?
As a matter of fact, as a person
Mm.
and a student of the game, not just a student of the game, also someone who has tasted the game before, and I know how to play
Like you know how to play.
football.
I see.
And so you can some way somehow say I'm a disappointed footballer.
Wow.
Yes, some way somehow.
Some way, somehow.
Yes, and I cannot be close to the legend Ronaldinho Gaucho.
Okay.
But when I came to radio, you see, radio is something that exposes you. And my name that I used when I was in school and what have you is some way somehow common. But when you come to radio, you have to get something that will identify you. Okay, so what is this thing that can expose or identify you more when you get to do the radio or when you are on radio?
Okay.
So it's a friend
Okay.
called Kweku.
Kweku?
Yes, he's the nephew of the owner of the station.
I see.
And
When you say station, which station?
I mean Sky Media.
Sky
Group,
Media.
Yes, and one time I was doing a presentation and it was like, hey, Charlie, Awaji, the way I owe your presentation, here, what child the anything so Ronaldinho Gaucho.
Whoa.
You see,
Whoa.
so you do it the way
I
you are
see.
presenting the thing.
The thing.
You are trying to let it look like Ronaldinho
Ronaldinho
Gaucho. So
Gaucho.
that's how it came about.
I
That's
see.
it. Yeah.
That's amazing. A very nice story behind such a great legend. Nice one. So I'll come so that we talk about the UEFA
Sure,
Champions League
sure,
proper. So let me
sure.
introduce
Yeah.
your colleague here,
Yeah,
Mr. Philip
yeah.
Kobna Nkumsa. I don't know, do you show so have a similar story to that? Do you have any nickname that's your presentation? People will kind of resonate you to any football player because of how you present on radio and all that, just as your colleague has narrated.
Yeah, he said he's a student of the game. Well, actually, not every coach that has won the Champions League or people who are coaches who have won the Champions League or have done so well in coaching
Okay.
once played football.
Okay.
In Ghana, there is this famous sports presenter or
Okay.
journalist
Okay.
who is the primus inter pares in terms of radio and sports presentation.
Did you hear those
Yeah,
phrases
he's the
or words
primus
he
inter
used?
pares. He's the
Maybe-
first among equals.
Can you elaborate on those words?
Yeah, it's a Greek derivative. That is the first among equal, a primus inter pares. He's the primus in sports. That's Kobna
Philip.
Yeboah. Kobna Yeboah never played football, but he's the H when it comes to sports in Ghana.
Fact.
And I'm a fan of the game. And I followed this game since 1996.
96.
Yes, 1996, and I've followed this game. And I like people with brains who play the game. So I'm a big fan of Ronaldinho. I'm a big fan of Brazil's Ronaldo. I like Andres Iniesta. I like Zinedine Zidane. I like those people with this exquisite skill, mastermind, people who can mastermind, who can maneuver and weave their way through defenses, like that is a knife through, that is a batter.
Okay.
So on that score, Andres Iniesta is a brain. Ronaldinho is a brain. Ronaldo is a brain, and Zidane is also a brain.
Okay.
So on that score, I think in Spanish, I like the language Spanish very much because I used to read and learn a lot about this Spanish language.
Okay.
I have the basics actually.
I see.
So when a Spaniard says somebody is a brain, it is referred to as El Cerebro. That is the brain.
Okay.
Cerebro. It is a derivative from the word cerebrospinal
Okay.
or cerebrospinal.
Okay.
So El Cerebro means the brain.
Okay.
So it is in referral to the people or the players who are top and people who plays the game more beautiful. Pele once said Brazil is joga bonito.
Okay.
Brazil plays a beautiful football.
Okay.
So if Brazil plays the beautiful football, I'm a Brazil fan as well. So why not? Why don't I like those players with those brains? So therefore, I am also El Cerebro, the brain in terms of the game.
This is just an introduction. Now, we are coming to the main agenda. That is the UEFA Champions League Grand Finale on Saturday. Let me also start from you again. Come Saturday, 1st of June at Wembley. The final of the UEFA Champions League is coming on. Is it the final you anticipated? Dortmund and Real Madrid?
Not really. I never anticipated Dortmund Real Madrid, and per the standards and the status quo of the Champions League. Normally, teams that go to the final are teams that have name, that have history, culture, and tradition. So the traditional teams or the tradition of the Champions League and the status quo is that if you are a top team, you play to the highest level. Real Madrid are the H. Or the primus in terms of that is football.
And then they've won 14 times.
They're 14 times champions. Okay. Should they win on Saturday, meaning they will go to 15. Oh. But then, when you look at the trend this year, two teams that people were tipping to get to the final were Paris Saint-Germain from France, Barcelona from Spain, probably on the betting odds. They were likely to get to the final, and to some extent Bayern Munich, but none of them could get here. Barcelona were eliminated by the quarterfinal through Paris Saint-Germain. Real Madrid eliminated that is team Bayern Munich, but the favorite, the hottest favorite for this year's Champions League, were also eliminated by Real Madrid in Manchester City. Guess what? Manchester City on footballing status now on a plate, they have the best squad. The best of squad quality, it belongs to Manchester City. But as a sports connoisseur and analyst of the game, I gave a dog chance to team Inter Milan, thinking per the standards and last year where they got to the final. They were narrowly beaten by Rodri's strike in Manchester City. So after losing that final, they can get to the final again. And this time they will get a step better by winning the Champions League. But I was quite disappointed when they were beaten by Atletico Madrid at the round of 16. And from there on, they had to say bye-bye to the Champions League. So Dortmund are quite a surprising team. And this year, when you go to Germany, they are not the flamboyant side. The flamboyant side of the German game is Freiburg, Stuttgart, Bayer Leverkusen. They are the flamboyant side. Not even Bayern Munich are from flamboyant this year in the German Bundesliga. So Dortmund, I say, they are not a team. We gave them a dog chance to get to the final. But guess what? In a group with AC Milan, Newcastle United, one of the uprising teams of England, Newcastle United, and Paris Saint-Germain, they qualified. And from there on, it was a statement of intent. And that thus far, they've come.
Mr. Abuaji, I'll ask you a similar question. Okay. Did you envisage Real Madrid and Dortmund at the finals in this year's Champions League?
First of all, I would say not at all. I am a Madridista. I am, and I'm not shy from it, and I'm never shy from telling this to the public that I'm a stand Madridista. I never thought Madrid would get this far. Even the season under review. Yes. If you get to analyze the Real Madrid team now, and even the team that they used to compete last season, I would say somehow Jude is in and he is doing well. But there are certain departments that Madrid are falling short in terms of quality and players. Now, when you look at the Madrid department this season, in goal post, the number one for Madrid used to all is Thibaut Courtois. And the beginning of the season, Courtois got an ACL, which made him go off for close to 6 months.
Sorry to cut you. I mean, to the understanding of my viewers, what is ACL?
Anterior crucial ligament.
Can you expound? Can you expound?
Yes, interior, sorry. Anterior, yeah, crucial ligament, sorry. It's an injury when a player gets the whole season.
Okay.
You can go off unless divine intervention.
Wow, that's
Yes,
so strange.
yes.
Wow.
It's very, very serious, of which no
The most serious
player,
one
no player will be praying for
play.
such
To get to
injury.
the-
Yes, because it's very, very odd or
Mm.
very, very bad.
Severe.
So Kotua got that. And David Alaba, who happens to be the leader when it comes to the central defense, also got that.
Okay.
Now, in the defense, it is David Alaba and Eda Militao who used to play at the central defensive role for Real Madrid.
Okay.
Both of them got ACL.
Oh.
So it tells you that now a team that did not do well last season when it comes to defense, their first two defenders when it comes to the central defense are off. So what will you anticipate going into the season? You will not, I mean, think good for the team. Of course, yes. But as a matter of fact, I'm shocked as to how far the team have gotten to and winning the La Liga, stretching the second team in a team like FC Barcelona, who won the league 22-23, 10 points, and getting to the UEFA Champions League final. It's amazing, and I think we have to give a round of applause to the technical team and then the players as well.
Okay.
Of course, the coach has said that this is the best team that he has worked with.
Ever?
Yes.
Ever?
Yes.
Wow,
It's in
this is
contest. Yes, of course. You can argue not the best players,
But the best team.
the best team.
Makes sense.
You see that?
Makes sense.
Because a group of players made a team. And if you have players who know how to play but does not give their all, it's also something.
Yeah.
So grouping these young guys, their attitude, being able to manage their attitude, the players being able to give their all and coming this far. Yes, he has every right to say it's the best team that he has coached so far through his career. And one way or the other, you agree with him because the kind of achievement these guys have got is amazing. Now, coming to the UEFA Champions League, of course, I said it earlier that it's somehow surprising to me for seeing Real Madrid and Borussia Dortmund through this far. Mind you, this is the UEFA Champions League, and when it comes to the UEFA Champions League, this is how this tournament, to some extent, is made of.
Okay.
It's made up of the best when it comes to Europe.
Okay.
And for that matter, you can be best in your domestic league, but when you come to Europe and you don't put up an extra fight, you will be off. So if you look at the Essen-Tegid team that lost the Bundesliga last day of the last season, it tells you that they will have something under their sleeves coming to the new season, of which they've done that. Last season, Eden Tegid went to the supporters and told them that I will get you something that you'll be happy with. Of course, in the Bundesliga, they didn't do what as Kwabena was saying. I think they were fourth or so. Yes, they were fourth in the just ended Bundesliga, but they've been able to manage their way through to the UEFA Champions League. That tells you that in the UEFA Champions League, it's not just about your current performance, or it's not just about the players you have. It goes beyond that. There are certain qualities that you have to get in playing the UEFA Champions League. Your attitude should be up there, your mentality should be up there, your commitment level should be up there. And there are certain things in the UEFA Champions League that needs to smile at you. And when it does, it will favor you to some extent, because no one thought that Borussia Dortmund will go to Parc des Princes and score Paris Saint-Germain by a goal to nil. No one thought about that.
Talking about that, let's throw our minds back to the second leg. Where Madrid, faced Bayern Munich. Okay. You know, right after that game, the conversation that sparked was that the referee favored Real Madrid. looking at certain decision the referee took, how the game ended, and all that. Do you also envisage that, like, when you those claim where people were saying the referee did a bit of skepticism there in favor of Real Madrid? Did you also, I mean, kind of, I mean, badge or maybe support that claim by the
Simon
fans or football
Makiniak
people?
never ate.
You never heard?
He never ate. And guess what? When referees as a team, the line 1 and the line 2 have equal power to the center referee. And before the ball was played, the line 1 raised the flag, and the referee whistled before the ball was played.
But why didn't the referee resort to the VR?
No, the referee.
Because that thing created this kind of, I mean, misunderstanding where
The brouhaha. One thing that brought about the brouhaha was before the ball was kicked, the line 1 has already raised the flag, and guess what? Before when the linesman, when a line raises the flag and goalkeeper stood just watching, referee, what are we doing? And the referee was like, no goal. And what would you say? When even he consult the VAR, there wouldn't be any results because the line has already been raised, and again the referee has already whistled that there was a foul before the ball was kicked. So nothing could be done about that. So to some extent, you might or you may blame the line 1 for, first of all, raising the flag. You can't falter the center referee Simon Makiniak for disallowing that goal that was scored by, I think, Matthijs de Ligt against that is Andre Lunin. So personally, of all, it was only air in that game. But generally, when you look at the gameplay and the refereeing positions, the inter runnings, again, the line 1, line 2 consultations, the additional times and what have you, there was nothing like a daylight robbery under his sleeve against Bayern Munich. Yeah.
Mr. Boido, so I mean, are you in support of what Nkumsa is insinuating?
I would say one way or the other, no and yes. He erred. Why? Because
the referee, right?
Of course, yes, he erred. Why? Because he is the center man and he is in charge of the game on the day. A linesman can raise a flag. A goal can be scored. Afterwards, the referee will get to the linesman and communicate with the linesman and decide what actually triggered him raising his flag as at that point. In this case, this scenario, we can interpret it in 2 ways. Why? Because first of all, the Bayern team says the ball was not an offside, of which, yes, it wasn't an offside. So one way or the other, the linesman and the referee erred for flagging and the referee whistling for offside.
Yes.
In this case,
that's the decision. That's part of the whole.
Of course, yes. In this case, you can't fault the Real Madrid team here because as soon as the referee raises his hand, spotting for something, that's accounted for the goalkeeper slowing in
The inaction.
moving or catching the ball. So now the referee has whistled that there is an infringement. So if you play the ball and it enters the net, as soon as the referee has whistled, we will go and listen to what the referee has whistled for.
Yes.
So if that's the case, in this context, Real Madrid in no point or in any point has something to do with what went on with the action of the referee. But it should have been between the referee and his assistant referees to communicate. Okay, you raised the flag. I didn't whistle. The game has been played or it has been moved on. Okay, was the ball offside or not? In this case, since I didn't whistle, then let's go and consult the VAR. If there is something wrong, yes, if there is something wrong, then we decide what to go with. If there's nothing wrong, then the goal stands or stood. You get that? But since the referee is told, he can't go and check the VAR because he has committed himself. So what are you going to
So there's no way to rescind that decision?
No.
And besides, the one who brought the ball into play was never in offside position. It was a Real Madrid defender who headed the ball down, and the ball went direct
So the player
at
was in
Matthijs de
position.
Ligt. But the Bayern player, who was rather offside, never interfered with
The
play.
play.
So
Okay.
there was no way it was offside. You can't fault Real Madrid for
That's
biasness,
yeah.
mafia, or
Yeah.
whatsoever. You can choose a lot of words. Brouhaha spark.
I mean,
And at the end of it
they've
all,
been touted as, I mean, being the FIFA
oh
favorites
no.
and
Me,
all
I
those
don't
blah
accept.
blah Real Madrid and
I don't share, and I
you don't share
don't
into that
agree.
kind of, I mean.
I don't agree to what is FIFA. FIFA oversees to the world, but this is UEFA.
But sometimes
UEFA,
they have that power to influence game.
but, but not
FIFA.
really, not really.
FIFA, UEFA, all these bodies.
Rather,
and all
when you
that.
tell me it is rather the betting
But
Panthers.
like, as you guys
Wait,
say,
listen, the betting mafia
Mm,
has a lot of say in matches,
okay.
and normally Bayern Munich, what money can you convince Bayern Munich with? How can you convince Real Madrid? They are already rich clubs.
What's a billion club?
So there is nothing like BB Koso.
Okay.
You can't convince Real Madrid or Bayern Munich.
Okay.
These are not.
To
This is not.
manipulate games
This is not a
and
David and Goliath affair.
Okay.
Real Madrid is a top team, and so is Bayern. In the whole of Europe, you can't tell me the top three in terms of value, in terms of name or whatsoever. Not mentioning Team Bayern.
Yeah.
Bayern is always a top team, and they would always be top. So there was nothing like a mafia school. Mafiasco can
Simon Massinia
Okay.
caused what happened on that day. You know
Okay.
why? He
Tell me.
signaled that we should put 9 minutes as additional time on the
That's
game.
another
Yes.
controversial decision there.
Yes, 9 minutes it was expected because of the stoppages
Yeah.
and what have you. After playing the 9 minutes, he also signaled another 2 minutes. Even after playing the 2 minutes,
Additional time also. was
another
like-
additional time. It wasn't.
So
it
the
wasn't.
referee,
Yes,
they
it wasn't
like,
necessary on that
most of
day.
us, after the
On
game,
that
we were
day,
better.
there were one or two petty things
Yeah.
that he did that he shouldn't have done.
Mm.
He handled the game throughout the 90
Mm.
minutes. He did a lot of things that were positive,
Mm.
but the additional time and
That created
getting to the
whole
close of
controversies
the
and all.
game, it was something. So on the day, to some extent, I will blame him a bit
Yeah.
for whatever transpired
On the
at that 15 minutes or
Yeah.
so.
Yes,
The dying best of
yeah.
the game. I will blame him in some way that
Yeah.
he should have made all the talking point and everything go into the game. How Madrid came back,
Mm.
how they were down, how they equalized and came
yeah,
back
yeah,
again.
wow.
What Carlo Ancelotti did right for the team to get into their stand or their feet to equalize and do all those things should have been the talking point, but not the controversies, the referees and what have you. I think that one.
A lot of times referees have stolen the headlines.
Of course.
I quite remember when Chelsea played Barcelona.
Okay.
Was it 2009?
Yes.
And Tomo Vrebo is a referee from Norway.
Okay.
He stole the headlines.
Mm.
Pure handballs, he disallowed a penalty. Kicking in the penalty act.
During those
they
times, was
were
the
clear.
VAR introduced?
No, the
no,
VAR, there was
that
the VAR I think was introduced the last 3 seasons.
That's this season.
But guess what? There were shouts for handballs and what have you. At a point, Didier Drogba was swearing at the referee because the referee clearly was on a daylight spectacle cheating Team Chelsea. And at the end of it all, he says sorry to Chelsea. I didn't do it. I didn't do things right. I should have done things right. But it was over. There was nothing like overturning the results.
Exactly.
And before he said that, Barcelona had already beaten Manchester United in the final. It would have been Chelsea and Manchester United. So referees stealing headlines has happened over the years. That's why they brought the VAR. Me, per what I'm reading and what I'm seeing, in future, I see robots handling football.